happen if the Earth stopped? The probability for such an event is practically zero in the next few billion years. If the Earth stopped spinning suddenly, the atmosphere would still be in motion with the Earth's original 1,100 mph rotation speed at the equator. All of the land masses would be scoured clean of anything not attached to bedrock. This means rocks, topsoil, trees, buildings, your pet dog, and so on, would be swept away into the atmosphere. If the process happened gradually over billions of years, the situation would be very different, and it is this possibility which is the most likely as the constant torquing of the Sun and Moon upon the Earth finally reaches its conclusion. If the rotation period slowed to one rotation every 365 days, a condition called sun-synchronous, every spot in the Earth would have permanent daytime or nighttime all year long. This is similar to the situation on the Moon where for 2 weeks the front side is illuminated by the Sun, and for 2 weeks the back side is illuminated. Half of the planet would almost continuously face the heat of the Sun, while half would face the cold of space. Life could continue in a narrow twilight zone between the hot and cold halves. But this twilight zone would slowly creep around the planet over the period of a year, as the Earth did its annual orbit around the Sun. To make it easier to work out what would happen, let's pretend the oceans don't freeze on the cold side, or evaporate on the hot side. And let's look only at centrifugal force, which should really be called centripetal force. Over several billion years, this force, which effectively pushes outwards, has made the planet a bit fatter around the middle. So the diameter of the Earth measured through the equator is today about 21.4 kilometers more than the diameter of the Earth measured through the poles. But this bulge in the solid Earth took billions of years to slowly develop. This is because the solid matter moved only very slowly in response to the outward force caused by the spin of the planet. But the liquid water in the oceans is far more mobile and responsive to forces. So the Earth's spin has pushed up this liquid water to an abnormal elevation of about 8 kilometers. In other words, at the equator, thanks to the spinning Earth, the water has been pushed up some 8 kilometers higher than in the case of the Earth having no spin. But today, on the entire equator, the deepest part of the oceans is only about 5.75 kilometers. So take away the spin and you take away all water at the equator. If the Earth were to stop spinning on its axis, gradually the oceans would migrate towards the poles from the equator. At first, only small regions of terra firma around the equator would rise out of the retreating waters. Eventually, there would be a huge megacontinent wrapped continuously around the Earth at the equator. You could travel around the Earth on the equator and stay entirely on dry land, ignoring the freezing cold on the night side and the searing heat on the day side. The water that left the equatorial regions would have to go somewhere, and that somewhere would be the poles. There would be 2 totally disconnected polar oceans on each side of the equatorial megacontinent. In the north, Canada would be entirely underwater, and roughly following the line of the border of current-day USA and Canada, all of Greenland, as well as the northern plains of Siberia, Asia and Europe would be underwater, but Spain would mostly stay above water. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, share, comment and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Namaste.